Hey y'all, welcome back to another video with Locke Chester for General Hospital, May 28, 2025. We got to talk about it. Nino, Inspector Gadget want to be Ted. I said, everybody over here want to be a private investigator and stuff. I said, once again, she doing everything except telling the doggone truth. But okay, look, I really want to start. Well, we are going to start there. We are going to start there because we start with Maxie and Nino. Hold on, y'all. Okay, so Maxie and Nina. So they just talking. Nina was just confiding in Maxie about everything that's going on. The fact that Michael's back and he's not gonna, take it easy on Willow and stuff. They don't have nothing on him. Just confiding in her about the whole custody situation. And they keep talking about how Willow doesn't deserve to lose her kids. Willow this, Willow that. I said, but y'all think that Michael deserved to lose his kids? And I don't think they revealed yet that Drew had Willow sign papers that say that if anything happens to her, he get custody of the kids or whatever. Why did they have that scene in there if they haven't addressed it yet? I just thought about that. They haven't addressed it yet. But yeah, Nino, she don't found out, y'all. She don't found out that Sasha and Michael was there together. They had their hands all over each other. Could the bartender dude want to talk to doggone much? She slid him a doggone $100 bill. And now he want to shut up. He told her that it wasn't Jason. She showed a picture. She ended up showing a picture. He was like, no, it wasn't him. He's in there all the time. That's Jason Morgan or whatever. Next thing you know, it wasn't this guy, was it? And showed a picture of Michael. I said, first of all, how was it? How was it that Michael when he wasn't even the one playing that Michael? But no, hold on, y'all. But yeah, don't sit up here and snitch. But yeah, what did Maxie say? Then Maxie always talking. She got to talking about Sasha, the fact that she got served, Rick served her, whatever. So now she has to testify, and they was talking about that. Then she ended up talking about, Jason. She still can't believe that Jason is the father of her baby, and they was talking about that, and that's what gave Nina the idea. Then I think Maxie also said something about um Jason doesn't have a reason to protect or lie for Sasha. And then Nina made that face that looked like she thinking. And that's a dog. That's a dog. She onto them. But that's the thing about a lie. Eventually it catch up to you. And I said, nah, look at that. I said, but it don't matter either way it go. Either way it go, they both cheated now. What they gonna do now? That's why I said share custody. But yeah, so after Maxie left, I think she said something about Bailey was asking for her. That's why she left. So she went over there interrogating the bartender, and that's when she showed the photo of Jason. He was like, "No, Jason Morgan always in here. That wasn't him." And he volunteered the information about the Sasha was with the guy, and they was had their hands all over each other, and they was hitting the booze pretty hard. I said, "Snitching." That was snitching. But yeah, then that's when she was talking about some doggone it wasn't this guy, was it? And showed a picture of Michael. Then he was like, yeah, that's the guy. And then she turned around smiling and stuff. And I said, you still gonna lose your daughter when she find out you been sleeping with her man. Or you was sleeping with her man. Doing all that for nothing. I said, I hope still, regardless of that, I still hope that he doesn't, at least he don't lose custody. At least he gets half custody at least. Could that be messed up? But yeah, let me scratch out Maxie, Nina, Mac, Drew, Willow. So they once again they went to Mac saying that Jason kidnapped Amelia or whatever. And Mac was like, why would Jason Morgan kidnap a child or whatever? Right. Even to him, that don't sound right. It don't sound like something Jason would do. So he's talking about Drew talking about some doggone. Let me slow down. Drew's talking about some doggone. He thinks he's above the law. Tell the truth. I was like, what? Come on now, because Mac caught on. Mac knew there was a load of freaking baloney. Somebody, so he thinks he's above the law and just going on and on. I think Willow, if I'm not mistaken, Willow was the one that said that Michael's back and something about Michael or whatever. He was doing it at the request of Michael. But Mac still went, y'all. Mac still went or whatever. And he said he looked around. The kids was asleep. And then he provided them with a document that said that Michael had emergency custody or something like that until it's time for the court date. Until it's time for the court date. And I said, aha. So that's when, at the end of the episode, they showed them in the car or whatever. And then she said she had to do this. He's like, let me go with you. I said, you just don't want them to have a conversation because you know that Michael going to say that he didn't know that she was even there. But she was like, I have to do this. The guard's not even going to let you in. I said, she's so struck on him. She's so struck and all that on him. So she goes and I think the only thing she went there or whatever, and she said something about please don't take the kids from me. You trying to take his kids from him? Trying to flip it. He let you go out of the dog, and Carly told him he let you go out the house with his kids. You was trying to steal the doggone kids. He should have reported you then. trying to steal the doggone kids or whatever, and trying to flip it like the man didn't care about his kids. That's why he let them go with her. What? But yeah, they didn't show nothing else with Michael and Willow, but apparently he not gonna give in because she gonna be talking to Drew in the car on tomorrow's episode, and gonna say something about if it's up to him, she'll never get her kids. Ain't y'all trying to tell my son he could visit? Look, sound effects. He already told my son he could visit his kids on the weekend. What the word going on right here? But yeah, next we got Michael Sasha. They was talking. He was about to get ready to say something about the baby, and that's when Carly, Josh, Jason, what's that it? Yeah, Sonny ain't came yet. Sonny hasn't arrived yet. Yeah, I think Sonny avoided Michael with. But yeah, it was just Carly, Josh, Jason. They came in. They was just hugging him, catching up with him, asking about his recovery. He wasn't mad at Carly. I feel like he should have been mad or bothered or something because she doing the same thing Nita been doing. She doing the same thing Drew been doing. These folks finally gonna get a chance to talk, but now it's too late because everybody done played a part in their decision making for them. I don't think I said that right, but y'all know what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I said it's too late now. He ended up telling Carly, Michael ends up telling Carly how, hold on, let me see. Let me make sure before I say it. Where is it? Probably on the back. I don't skip so far ahead. Let me see. Let me make sure. Michael thanks Carly. He ended up thanking her and tells her she did the right thing or whatever. So now, what they said, June 6th, June 3rd, June something. I think next week. Yeah, more than likely next week, y'all. I don't know, but I think it's next week. They finna finally have a court date. Nina know the truth now, so I don't know if they're gonna try to work out a compromise. I don't care if he found out cheating, got a baby and nothing. I still won't give up on my kids. What you talking about? But yeah, that's all Carly and Michael and them was talking about. They was catching up. He ends up thanking Jason for everything he did. I think he was trying to thank him for the Sasha thing as well without saying anything about it. But I said, the truth finna find out now? The truth finna find out. That's not the first time I said that either. The truth finna come out now. Lois and Ned ends up telling Lois he should have told her. She should have told him or whatever and just confronted her. I can't wait to get to the Olivia part because I had to agree with Lois because what you thought this was. But yeah, Ned was just telling her about herself. He wanted to know why Lois cut him out, and he was saying how their daughter went through something big, and she didn't feel the need to tell him. And she was just saying how Brooklyn trusted her or whatever. That's not something you come to your father for. Just telling him what he didn't want to hear. Telling him what he didn't want to hear, whatever. Explaining herself and explaining how she thought she was doing what was best. Her mama came up with a plan. You got to see that that was the right thing to do and stuff, and nobody trying to hear her out. Sonny about the only one. He ended up with Sonny. He ended up asking her why she didn't say anything. Might as well get them out the way, then come back to Olivia now. But Sonny was just asking why she didn't say anything. He could have helped. And then he was like, so when you came to me and asked for me to pay for his schooling, was that your way of including me or whatever? And she was like, yeah, she wanted to do it without letting it be known. I said, how you indirectly let Sonny know that he the grandfather, but you can't tell your daughter that her child right there in the same house? Look, I feel so many different ways about this whole storyline. Cause I'm just tripping on the fact that people think that it was okay that Tracy, Lois, I keep forgetting her mama name. What is her mama name? I forgot her mama name. Whoever her mama is, everybody had a right to know, but Dante, I was just reading that comment. Everybody felt like everybody had a right to know except Dante, the father. And I don't think that makes sense. And I feel like Lois missed the opportunity so many times, especially when Gio came to live with them, because he right there and she telling you she want to find her child. So instead of telling her the truth, you talking about some doggone, what name did she give? She gave some name of a adoption agency, then somebody they was closed or whatever. But yeah, Sonny ends up hugging her because she was saying how she feel like she lost Brooklyn and Olivia, the two people that mean the most to her or whatever. And he was just hugging her or whatever and just comforting her. So I said, she got one friend. She got one friend. Hold on, y'all. But to finish with Ned and Lois, he was just saying how he was mad. He was upset that she didn't tell. And she said something about she thought that the Quartermains would try to control Gio and just use him as what was the word she used? And I said, well, she went wrong about that because they over here, they've been arguing about ELQ since I was a kid. So she technically not wrong about that. I said, basically like property. And I said, she technically not wrong about that because they've been arguing over this doggone company since I was a kid now. And it's been how many decades? Look. But yeah, then Olivia came and he was telling her, sorry it took so long, whatever. And she was like, go ahead. I catch up to you. You know, I got to talk to my good friend. And that's why I said I had to give my opinion, because you technically did do the same thing. She tried to flip it. She was getting on to Lois about what she did, and they supposed to be friends, and she could have told or whatever. She took away Brooklyn Wright. She took away Dante Wright and all this other stuff. And so Lois was like, "You can't throw no glass." No, I said that wrong. You can't throw, what they be saying? You can't throw no rock. Something about a glass house. I don't know. Basically, you can't judge me when you did the same thing. And I said, I was thinking when they showed the preview for this today's episode, I was like, Olivia, now you know you did the same thing, right? Then you, I know you know. But yeah, she told her about that. I said, right on that. I said, are you right about that? And she was like, no, it's not the same thing. I was trying to protect him because of Sonny, you know, Sonny life and his enemies and stuff. And I was like, I don't know about that. Was Sonny in that life when she got pregnant? I don't know, y'all. But yeah, she was saying that she was doing for his protection. Who was you protecting and all this other stuff? And I was like, well, I feel like eventually they'll get back cool. But yeah, Olivia was basically saying how she don't think she ever knew her and stuff like that. And that's when Sonny showed up, and Sonny was just confronting her too. But he ended up hugging her. So I said she got one friend: Tracy, Emma, Geo, Brooklyn, Dante, Chase. Wait, when did Chase get on there? I think I wasn't supposed to write that right there. I don't think. No, hold on, y'all. Let me scratch that out. First, it was Tracy, Emma, Geo, Brooklyn, Dante. They was trying to talk to him, and he was trying to leave. And that's when Dante had grabbed him and he snatched away. And Brooklyn was like, it's not like that. Dante didn't even know I was pregnant. He was like, okay, then what's your excuse? And she was saying how she was young and she just couldn't, you know, she didn't know what to do. She was young and trying to explain to him, but he was just so upset and he wasn't trying to hear nothing she tried to say or whatever. He still ended up leaving or whatever. Emma followed him. And Tracy was just saying, you know, give him time or whatever. He's upset right now. Tracy said that Brooklyn, that Dante should direct his anger at Lois because, you know, it's not Brooklyn's fault or whatever, it's Lois. I said it's kind of both of their fault. She didn't tell. I mean, she was young. I get her that, but even Dante told her, he was like, "Okay, I understand. You was young. You was a kid or whatever. But after decades later, 10 years later, stuff like that, why didn't you tell?" And if I'm not mistaken, if y'all watch today's episode, they didn't when Dante had asked after Chase came in. Dante was like, who else knew?" Brooklyn made this face like she was about to get ready to tell about Lulu, but they didn't show it, right? Because on tomorrow's episode, they showed Dante at Lulu's or whatever, and she was like, "You think I did this so that, you know, I can win you back?" And I said, I knew he was going to be more upset with her. I knew he was going to be more upset with her, but we'll see on tomorrow's episode. But yeah, I said, she about to tell it. She about to tell it. But yeah, they assuming that Lulu's the one that told. I mean, technically, it is her fault because she did go confront Lois in a public place. They always over here want to do stupid stuff. They want to sit up here and tell a secret in public, then be shocked when they get out. What you mean? But yeah, what else? What else? Emma and Gio, they was just talking about everything. He was upset. He didn't know what to think. He started to question Sonny, if Sonny was helping with school because he knew if all of his family members out there in the crowd knew or whatever. And she was also asking about why he did I call it a guitar on the last review? Then he said violin. But yeah, she was asking him about the violin. He was like, because that was the biggest lie of all. Because wasn't he saying that his mama is the reason why he playing stuff like that and he got his musical talent from her and stuff? I'm assuming that's why he did it. But yeah, she had brought him to the bridge that wasn't it Jason and Robin that used to go to that bridge, if I'm not mistaken. And they was just talking about everything that happened. Let me see. Let me see. Who seems to put Tracy? Tracy told Brooklyn and Dante not to let the pain obscure the fact that they met their son today, and she was just so emotional and stuff like that. Dante asked Brooklyn who else knew, and that's when Chase came in trying to check on her, and that's when he realized that he knew. And I said, we ain't seen. I was waiting on. Look, well, it wasn't nothing like what I expected. I expected him to go off on Chase when he found out, go off on everybody. But he been real calm. To me, he was more upset about Gio and the Roscoe. He was more upset about the Gio Rocco Danny situation than he is about finding out Gio's son. I could be wrong, but that's the way I view it. I don't know, y'all. But yeah, he a lot calmer than I expected. But yeah, Chase, he like I said, he found out that Chase knew or whatever, and that's when he asked again who knew, and that's when she made a face or whatever. And on tomorrow's episode, he gonna be talking to Lulu, so she finna get it in there. Who else we got? I already talked about MOGO. Emma and Gio went to the bridge. Lord Jesus. Emma and Gio went to the bridge. We already talked about Olivia and Lois. I think that's everybody, y'all. Hold on. Let me make sure. Maxie talked too much. Everybody talked too much. Told Nina what Sasha said. Olivia said she was protecting Dante. Mac tells Willow and Drew the kids asleep. Nina answers Sasha and Michael. I said Willow finally came to see Michael. Gio says a part of him lost it and shut down. Yep, that's it. That's it, y'all. Ready for tomorrow's episode when he confronts Lulu. Ready to see, because she's supposed to be crying. They show her in the preview Tuesday, where she was crying or whatever. But yeah, that's everything. Let me know y'all thoughts on this episode down below. Hold on, wait a minute. Amy, you watching? Hey, Amy. I'm about to type hey in the comments to y'all. Yeah, let me know what y'all thought of the episode. Until next time, have a great rest of the day. My phone about to go dead too.